When I Fall by Scarlet Emerald 32. Chapter 10.
Okay, I'm getting a beer. You two continue arguing and tell me what we're doing when I get back.
Heath hopped off the couch to head into the kitchen.
Hey, I thought this was a democracy. We're supposed to make our decisions together.
Yeah, but you two never take my opinion into consideration, so I'd rather drink.
Sorry, we don't want to add Bone Thugs and Harmony to our set list.
Hey,
Heath poked his head out of the fridge and pointed at Eric.
that was borderline racist. And I didn't even make that suggestion. She did.
He pointed at Talisa.
I suggested Eric Clapton.
I thought I was supposed to be the gay one.
And I stand by my choice. First of the Month is an awesome song.
Heath walked back into the room and flopped into the armchair.
All you're doing is proving my point, so just pick a set list so we can practice.
All right now, all of you.
Aaron came into the room carrying a large pot.
I didn't spend the last 2 hours making fried rice and wonton soup just so you could bicker. Now, Heath, get your feet off the coffee table.
Heath complied as Aaron sat the large pot down. Talisa was just about to offer to get the bowls and cutlery when there was a knock on the door.
Who might that be?
Oh, gee, I wonder.
She opened the door and found Tara and Eugene standing on her doorstep.
Hey, can we hang out here for a while? Things are getting a little crowded at our place.
Still? It's been almost a week since he got back. They've got to be running out of steam by now.
Oh, trust me. Being that I was the third member of a trio that included them for an extended period of time, I can attest to the fact that they have stamina that would put the Energizer Bunny to shame. And seeing as Rosita very truly believed him to be dead, I don't imagine they'll be coming up for air anytime soon.
Yippee for us. So, can we come in?
Yeah, sure. I've got a few people here, but there's no reason you guys can't crash. We've got plenty of food.
She looked up at Eugene with an affectionate smile.
Hey, you.
Hey yourself.
Oh god, not you guys too. Can you please stop being so frickin' adorable? You're almost as bad as them.
She motioned back across the street with her thumb.
I don't see how you can reasonably compare our simple greeting of each other to their boisterous copulation.
Boisterous copulation. Damn, Eugene. You sure know how to make sex sound sexy. How do you manage to keep from jumping him every time you see him?
Who says I do?
Please, considering he blushes when I said the word, something tells me you two have yet to move out of PG territory.
At her words, Eugene did indeed blush scarlet, but Talisa came to his rescue.
Sorry, not all of us like to move as fast as you, miss. Denise and I have been caught making out in her office at least 4 times, and she was sneaking out of my bedroom yesterday.
Now it was Tara's turn to blush.
Hey, shut up.
She walked into the living room and Eric, Aaron, and Heath looked up.
Hey guys, what's up?
Rosita and Abraham are still turning their casa into the love shack, so they're taking refuge here.
Gotcha. Well, we've got plenty of food. Make yourself comfortable. We just need to grab some bowls and spoons.
On it. You want to help me haircut?
What? Oh, yes, I'd be happy to.
Eugene followed her into the kitchen, and Heath watched them go with a smirk.
Do they really think they're being subtle?
They think they are, but subtlety has never been one of Eugene's strong points.
Hang on.
Aaron looked from Heath and Tara to the door to the kitchen.
What did I miss? Are you saying those two?
Oh, honey, how did you miss that? She literally ran across the roamer-infested streets to get to him last week, and they've basically been joined at the hip since he got here.
I've been out with Daryl more than I've been here. Wow, so those two are together. I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
I gotta say, you are the first person to find out that's had that reaction. Most of the time it's more of, you're serious, her and him.
I mean, I get how it probably looks like that from the outside, but if you know her, it makes perfect sense. It's hard to deny he's her type.
Oh, right. Her husband was a dorky guy like Eugene too, right?
He wasn't just like Eugene.
Aaron nodded towards the bookshelf in the corner.
Go check that out.
Tara walked over and saw, nestled among the various knickknacks and old books was a framed photograph. She moved a copy of Sherlock Holmes aside slightly so she could get a better look at it.
Holy shit, that's her husband?
The picture was of Talisa and a man posing for a picture at the Grand Canyon. The man had sandy blonde hair that he wore in a low ponytail and a scruffy beard, but he was the same height and build as Eugene, and even dressed similarly down to the cargo shorts.
It's like they're the same guy in a different font.
I'm sure that's not true. Yes, they may look similar, but that doesn't mean they're the same person. It's like Erin said, she just has a type. There's nothing wrong with that. I myself have a penchant for tall, broody men with dark hair and pretty eyes.
He winked at his husband, who grinned back.
And I mean, that's probably why she's taking it slow. Eugene told me that they aren't officially together because Talisa said she needs to work through all her shit before she can decide if she wants to do this thing with him. Figuring out how she feels about how much he looks like her dead husband has gotta factor into that, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine it wouldn't.
How's Eugene feel about it all? Is he cool with letting her figure things out?
I think Eugene's basically just doing a yippee, a pretty girl actually likes me happy dance and not worrying much about the rest.
All three men chuckled.
Sorry about Tara. She has a great many skills at her disposal, but tact is not among them.
Eugene handed Talisa one of the bowls from the cupboard, and she smirked appreciatively.
It's all right. I'm sure for someone who's as gung-ho, charging guns blazing, as Tara, our glacial pace seems completely ridiculous.
Well, then it's a mighty good thing that we're the ones who need to be in agreement on it, and she doesn't have a say.
Eugene turned to hand her another bowl, and as she reached to take it, she brushed her fingertips across his. He stopped and looked down at her.
And you're still good with it? Our glacial pace, that is?
She trailed her fingers gently up the back of his hand.
I am grateful for any and every minute I am able to spend in your presence regardless of the tenor of those minutes.
She smiled at him, taking the bowl and adding it to the stack before turning to open the silverware drawer.
So you're not disappointed that I haven't decided to say, screw caution and just jump you, like Tara suggested?
Decidedly not. In fact, I'm fairly certain it might result in a heart attack on my part if you attempted it.
Oh, don't worry, haircut. I won't spring any surprises on you. We're in this thing together.
She playfully nudged his shoulder with hers. Eugene was quiet for a moment. She looked over and saw he was looking down at the spoons she'd just handed him and seemed to be pondering something.
What's up?
In the spirit of us being in this together, like you said, there's something I feel obliged to tell you. I've been going over how to say it, or if I even should say it, for several days, but in the end, it feels like the sort of information one shares with the person they are involved with. But I also don't want to make presumptions about...
Eugene.
She placed her hand over his and looked up at him.
Just tell me, okay? I'm sure it's not as big a deal as you think it is.
All right, since you insist.
He set the spoons down on the counter and turned to face her fully.
The joke you just made, about jumping me, as you put it, if I was reading the context of the conversation correctly, I believe Tara was referencing...
He trailed off nervously, blushing even deeper red, and Talisa smirked affectionately.
Sex? Yeah, she was. And it's okay if talking about it makes you uncomfortable, Eugene. That's kind of what she was going for.
He met her gaze with a slight smile and gave her hand a squeeze.
I'm aware of that, and I appreciate your attempts to bolster my confidence. But as you are currently assessing my eligibility to be your romantic partner, I think you should know that so far in my lifetime I have not been jumped by any person or partaken in any jumping myself.
Oh, so you're saying you're...
A virgin. That is correct.
She saw the flush in his cheeks. She put a hand on the side of his face and tilted his head up so she could look into his eyes.
Hey, that's nothing to be embarrassed about.
So you're saying you don't foresee my status as a novice when it comes to all things of an intimate nature becoming a potential roadblock for this relationship?
As long as it's not an issue for you that I'm not.
It's not, I assure you.
Then we're good.
She picked up the bowls and went to head for the living room.
Besides, it's not my first rodeo with a fella who...
She trailed off and looked back at him apologetically.
Oh, wow. That was such a stupid thing to say. See? This is exactly why I can't be rushing into this. How the hell are we supposed to figure out what we are if I keep bringing up JP in every conversation? I'm sorry.
Hold on now.
Eugene walked over and put his hands on her shoulders.
Being that he was your longest and deepest relationship, it is more than logical that you would filter all future romantic endeavors through the lens of said relationship. I see nothing wrong with that, and furthermore, I take no issue with you mentioning your former spouse.
He brought his hand up and traced her cheek with his thumb.
Being reminded that you were in a long and happy relationship with someone like him helps me accept the idea that your attraction to me is more than just a great cosmic fluke that might right itself at any moment, and gives me very concrete evidence that our romantic endeavor has the potential to be successful.
Talisa looked up into his face, and she felt a burning warmth in her chest as she did.
Eugene, you're kinda amazing. You know that?
To that, I would have to say a resounding ditto.
He searched her face as he slowly moved his hand from her cheek down and under her chin, tipping it up. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, but as he leaned down, she turned her head away and rested it against his chest. He didn't miss a beat, wrapping his arms around her and hugging her tightly.
I'm sorry, I'm just not ready yet. But I want to. You know that, right?
I do, and trust me, that knowledge is more than enough to sustain me until such time as you're ready to take that step.
Talisa hugged him tighter, but then looked up at him as she suddenly put something together.
Hey, haircut? You know how you were saying about how you've never...
Yes?
Well, does that just apply to, that? Or have you never done anything?
Eugene smirked slightly as he looked down at her.
Suffice to say, Talisa Prince, every first that has happened between you and I has also been a very first for me.
Oh, wow, Eugene. I'm honored.
He leaned down and pressed his forehead to hers as he smiled again.
What you are is utterly and entirely worth the wait.
Oh my god, get a room.
Tara walked through the kitchen door and grabbed the bowls and spoons.
And get in here, we're all starving.
Talisa looked at Eugene, and they both chuckled slightly. She turned to head into the living room, but as she did, he caught her hand and held onto it until they reached the doorway, where he gave it a quick squeeze and dropped it.
About time. What took you so long?
They were in there making out.
Talisa glared at her.
We were not. And you saw nothing of the sort, and you know it.
All right, fine. They were in there canoodling.
Canoodling? That's some mighty fancy verbiage you're using.
And an admittedly more accurate description of our activities upon your entrance.
Eugene shot Talisa a wink as he took a seat next to her on the couch, and she grinned at him appreciatively.
By the way, this is excellent.
Tara held up her bowl towards Aaron, who gave her an appreciative nod.
It's all about learning how to work with what you got. The rice and canned veggies aren't too hard to come by, but the protein can be a little tricky. I found when you mince Spam up and fry it crispy with a little soy and a little syrup, it makes a decent substitute for the fried pork.
I actually like it better. So back to our original conversation. You two have any great brainstorms while I was in the kitchen?
What do you think of Dave Matthews?
That's it. I'm quitting the band.
Aaron laughed.
You guys have a band? That's so badass.
It's not a band. We just figured out a while ago that the three of us are all musically inclined, and we started jamming together occasionally, and then Deanna asked us to play for the community every once in a while for parties and celebrations and stuff.
Snickers. That's literally the definition of a band.
But band sounds so juvenile. Like I'm a high school kid saying, "Hey guys, want to come see my band? We're playing at my sister's 8th birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese."
They had their own band at Chuck E. Cheese. They were animatronic.
See, robots can be in a band.
Fine. We're a group of musicians. Is that better?
It's better. It's still not great.
Well, when you create your own super cool term, you let us know.
I wasn't aware that you were musically inclined.
Well, you don't know everything about me yet. Gotta keep the mystery alive while I can.
So what different instruments do you guys play and you're not a band?
Heath is our percussionist and also a singer. Eric is a whiz on the piano.
The gay man as the keyboardist, revolutionary, I know.
Tara chuckled.
And I play the guitar and also sing. Heath and I take turns on who leads and who sings backup depending on the song.
That's so cool. So when do we get to hear you guys play?
On Halloween, if we can get a set list together and get enough practice in.
Halloween? Are we close to that?
The end of the week. It's the 27th.
Damn. I still haven't gotten used to the fact that you people actually know the date. So you guys celebrate holidays?
We try to. It's part of the whole trying to keep the parts of life that make it worth living. But Halloween is a little different than before, though. We figure we don't really need any more scariness in our lives, so we usually just have a fun party.
But that means we have to go through the impossible task of making a set list.
A feat that has yet to take them less than 3 hours, and at least one of them threatening to quit.
Our diversity in musical taste has been an asset when it comes to our performances, but makes for some tense group meetings.
Maybe you need some outside opinions to refresh your repertoire.
Aaron looked over at Eugene and Tara.
You guys got any good suggestions?
Oh, I know for a fact Eugene's contributions wouldn't be appreciated by these two. He's an old-school heavy metal guy.
Tara's head whipped around and she looked at Eugene in disbelief.
Really? Heavy metal?
Iron Maiden until I die.
Wow, I never would have guessed that in about 1,000,000 years.
I know, right?
Well, as iconic as Iron Maiden is, I'm not sure they fit our set list.
Eric shot them a wink before looking back at the paper in front of him.
We've got a good mix of 70s and 80s stuff, and our rise and fall isn't bad. I just think we need to round out the 90s stuff a bit more. We've got One Hand in My Pocket by Alanis, which is always a crowd pleaser.
And gives Tobin a chance to show off his harmonica skills.
We just need one more good solid 90s hit.
How about something by Nirvana? Can't get much more 90s than that.
Hey, you know that's a thought. We'd have to keep it on the lighter side since we're going acoustic, but they've got some solid stuff that could work.
Come As You Are, maybe?
Or The Man Who Sold the World.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Talisa jumped up and ran into her room. She came back seconds later holding her guitar and hopped lithely over the back of the couch to land in her original spot.
I just remembered I actually learned the guitar riff for that one back in college. Let me see if I remember it.
She proceeded to fiddle with her guitar, turning the tuning pegs and plucking strings. Tara smirked and leaned over to Eugene, who was watching Talisa.
Admit it. You're like, at least 20% more into her right now, aren't you?
If asked mere minutes ago, I would have stated confidently that my capacity in that respect was already at 100%. But I have to admit, that is undeniably sexy.
Okay. I know I'm the one who brought it up, but gross.
Tara leaned back as Talisa sat up straighter and began to flawlessly play the chord progression.
Nice. You got the sheet music for that one at home, Eric?
Pretty sure I do. I say we officially add it to the list.
About an hour later, once the food was gone and the set list had been made, they all decided to head to their respective homes. Tara and Eugene were the last out the door, and Talisa lingered in the doorway as they left. Tara looked across the street and gave a sigh of relief.
Oh, thank God. I see Rosita in the kitchen.
She headed down the steps, but Eugene hesitated, looking back at Talisa with a smile.
I guess I'll see you around.
It does seem to work out that way.
She grinned at his throwing of her own words back at her.
Sleep tight. I'll see you tomorrow.
You sleep well as well, and I will.
Oh my God. Just say goodnight already. Maybe we can get a phone line installed so you can sit on the phone arguing over who's gonna hang up first instead.
Talisa and Eugene both chuckled.
Good night, haircut.
Good night.
Talisa watched them walk across the darkened street and she could see them talking softly. When they got close to the steps, she saw Tara give him a playful shove in the shoulder, making him miss a step as he laughed. Talisa smiled and shook her head as she closed the door.
Is it safe to enter?
Tara stuck her head in the front door but made a show of covering her eyes as she did.
Oh, shut up.
Rosita rolled her eyes from her spot behind the counter making grilled cheese sandwiches. Abraham was perched on one of the stools at the island watching her cook.
Hey, with the way things have been going around here lately, I never know what I'm gonna walk into.
Tara walked around Rosita and grabbed a soda from the refrigerator. Eugene took a spot next to Abraham at the island, and Tara turned to lean against it.
You guys want one?
Nah, we already ate.
At Talisa's?
Rosita shot Eugene a knowing look, and a smile played at the corner of her mouth.
Yes, at Talisa's. But, as it was a group dinner, with no less than 3 males not including myself, the underlying implications of your question are erroneous and inaccurate.
Rosita raised the spatula in surrender.
I wasn't implying anything.
Well, hell. I'll skip the implying and get right to brass tacks.
Abraham leaned against the island and surveyed Eugene with a quizzical expression.
You hitting that yet?
Decidedly not.
Haven't you heard? They're BFFs. They defined their relationship last week while you were out playing Rambo.
Damn. You got friend-zoned, huh?
Abraham patted Eugene's shoulder.
Gotta say, I always knew that was the most likely outcome. But for a while there, I really thought you had a shot.
Tara gave a small snort of laughter as she took another sip of her soda. Abraham and Rosita looked over at her, and after a moment the smirk slid off her face as she looked between them in confusion.
Wait, were you not joking? Do you really not know?
As they both continued to stare at her, she shook her head in disbelief.
He is not. Friend-zoned. The two of them are almost as unbearable as the two of you.
What?
Rosita threw a dish towel at Eugene.
How dare you get a girlfriend and not tell me about it?
I do not have a girlfriend.
Eugene retorted, grabbing the dish towel and sitting it on the island.
Oh, yeah? So what I found you two doing in the kitchen when you were supposed to be getting the bowls was purely BFF behavior?
Well, now this is getting good. What were you doing in the kitchen, Eugene?
Nothing remotely close to how Tara is making it sound.
He glared at her.
We were simply discussing certain aspects of our potential relationship, and I happened to have my arms around her as we did.
Rosita leaned against the island and took a bite of her own sandwich.
Your potential relationship, eh? That's a lot more than friendly to me.
Eugene looked around at all three of the curious faces, and then rolled his eyes and sighed.
Since it is apparently necessary for you all to know every detail of my personal life, I'll have you know, after our Walker showdown and her subsequent injury, Talisa confessed to me in the medical office that she had begun to have feelings for me that go beyond those of friendship, if you take my meaning.
Well, hot damn, Eugene. Way to get the girl.
Well, therein lies the complication. While I am admittedly exhilarated beyond comprehension by this turn of events, our path forward is not as direct as it may seem.
How so?
Rosita gave Eugene a small, knowing smile.
I think I get it. Talisa and I kind of talked about it a little bit.
Eugene looked over at her in surprise.
You and Talisa discussed me?
Yeah, kinda. It was right before those guys with the W's attacked. I asked her if she liked you, and she said she wasn't sure. She told me she was having trouble with the idea of having feelings for someone else, because it felt like she was betraying her husband.
Abraham let out a long, slow breath and shook his head.
Damn. I didn't even think about that. That's gotta be heavy. And the fact that as far as she's told us, you and her old man had a lot in common, too. What a head trip.
Exactly. As of now, we are essentially in a holding pattern, according to her. Taking our relationship to the next level, as it were, is something she's very interested in doing. But she is also afraid if we move too quickly in that direction, she'll make a misstep that could not only ruin our chances at a potential relationship, but also damage our friendship, which is vitally important to us both. So, for now, We are best friends who happen to be profoundly attracted to one another. The rest is TBD.
And you're okay with that?
The prettiest girl I have ever met looked into my eyes tonight and told me how much she wanted to kiss me, but said she's just not quite ready yet. I assure you, I am perfectly fine with where I'm at.
Abraham reached over and gave him an affectionate punch in the arm.
Damn straight.
Hey, Talisa, come on in.
Rick opened the door of his house with a dish towel slung over his shoulder. As she stepped through the door, she heard Judith give a squeal from the next room.
Sorry. Things are a little hectic this morning.
No worries. This is the kind of hectic I love to hear.
Michonne walked from the dining room towards the kitchen as they entered.
I've given up the scrambled eggs fight. I put some Cheerios on her tray. If you want to give it a second try, you're welcome to it.
Rick walked over and took a seat next to his daughter at the table. Talisa sat down across from them and watched as he tried to coax her to eat some of the eggs.
She's really beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
Does she look like her mother? I noticed Carl looks a lot like you, but Judith not so much. I figured she must take after your wife.
Rick smirked again and chuckled slightly as if she'd made a joke that she hadn't realized. He shook his head and sighed as he fed her another bite.
Yeah, she looks more and more like Lori every day. It makes me happy, and I think it makes Carl happy too.
I'm sure it does. Do you mind me asking how she died? Your wife, I mean.
She needed a cesarean. We knew she would. She did with Carl too. So we had a setup ready with Herschel. He was Maggie's father. He was going to do it, but when it all went down, the prison where we were living got overrun, and Maggie, Carl and Lori were separated from the group. Maggie had to do it herself, and Lori didn't make it. Carl was the one who had to put her down in the end.
Oh God, Rick, that's awful.
Rick looked down and nodded, taking a deep breath before speaking again.
I was proud of him. He was so strong. He still is. So strong.
The stillness of the moment was broken when they heard Michonne's shout from the kitchen.
Carl Grimes, did you eat the last strawberry Pop-Tart?
Carl's head appeared over the banister upstairs.
No idea what you're talking about? You sure you didn't eat it yesterday?
Yes, I'm sure. Don't you try that crap on me. There was one pack left.
Huh, weird. Maybe Judith ate it.
Yeah, right. Get down here and let me smell your breath.
Oh, look at that. Time for me to do my therapy.
Oh no, you don't. Get back here.
Michonne ran up the stairs after him, and Talisa and Rick heard their laughter echoing down a minute later. Talisa looked over at him and grinned.
See? The best kind of hectic.
Rick grinned broadly in agreement.
You guys deserve this, you know. To just live life, to have some time to breathe, to be happy. I know we have a lot to figure out, but it's okay to just sit in it for a little while. We have time.
But we can sit in it and still plan for what's next.
Yes, we can.
They heard Michonne on the stairs again, and a moment later she came back in the room still chuckling and shaking her head.
You read him his rights?
He got leniency this time. But if he tries it again, he better be ready to lose a few fingers. The only Pop-Tarts he left are the brown sugar cinnamon.
If you ask me, those are the best.
Good. Then Carl can move in with you.
Talisa laughed appreciatively, and Michonne made to sit down at the table, but as she did, there was a knock at the door.
That'll be Maggie.
I'll get it, since little Miss Fussy is actually eating for you.
She pointed a finger at Judith as she walked out.
Traitor.
Judith giggled. A minute later, she walked back into the dining room with Maggie, who said hello and planted a quick kiss on Judith's head before taking a seat at the table across from Talisa.
How are things at your place?
Since the events of the past few weeks, with the death of so many citizens, there had been several houses in the community left empty. Being that Spencer had his own town home, Maggie and Glenn had moved into Deanna's home, and Enid was staying with them as well. Carol, Daryl, Gabriel, and Sasha had moved into Jesse's home, leaving Rick, Michonne, Carl, and Judith in their original home.
They're good. We barely see Enid, but from what you've told me,
She nodded to Talisa.
that's pretty par for the course with her. I expect she's been hanging around here more than she's been at home.
She looked up at Rick and Michonne, who both smiled. Enid and Carl had been discreet, but it had become obvious pretty quickly after the events with the walkers that they were now a couple.
And how are you feeling? Did that tea Denise recommended help with the morning sickness?
Maggie had made her pregnancy known to the rest of the community the previous week, and everyone was excited about the arrival of their newest member.
It did. As long as I drink it with my breakfast, I'm pretty good for the rest of the day. But my sense of smell is going haywire. Poor Glenn is being such a trooper. I nearly bit his head off yesterday because he was cooking eggs and the smell was killing me.
Oh, eggs were a terrible one for me too. And any kind of cooking vegetables. Tomatoes were the worst. I banned any kind of red sauce in my house until Andre was born.
Well, thankfully eggs seem to be my only no-go food at the moment.
So, should we get started?
Rick transferred Judith from her high chair to her playpen, and Maggie pulled a notebook out of her backpack and flipped it open.
This is the record of minutes for the meeting of Alexandria leaders, October 29th, 2012. Do we have any updates on the business from our last meeting?
I talked to Tobin. We should have the wall expansion finished by Halloween so that we can use the church as the location for the celebration.
Perfect. We usually do it in the center of town, so the sound disperses evenly, but now that we've cleared the quarry, I feel like we've seen an uptick in walkers on the walls, so indoors is probably better.
I agree, but do we think the damage on the building itself will be repaired by then?
As repaired as it needs to be. The tower itself isn't going to be finished, but they're almost done fixing the front of the building. The door goes on tomorrow.
All right then, Michonne, you were going to talk to Rosita about our new trainees. Any of them ready to take security shifts on the wall?
A few. She thinks Mike and Francine have shown a lot of promise, but Francine is still nervous to put her training into action.
Why don't you put her on with me and Abraham tonight? Francie and I have a good rapport, and I know she likes Abraham ever since he saved her life.
Good idea.
Are we ready to circle back around to the committee? I think we're all in agreement that we four, the ones who understand the dream Deanna had for this place, are the core. But to make it happen, we're going to need to utilize our resources. And part of that is making a committee of like-minded people to help us make decisions.
I agree. And there are a few people that I think fall easily into those roles. Abraham, for one. I think it would be foolish of us not to include his military training when it comes to our defense.
Agreed.
I also think we should consider Eugene.
She saw the look of skepticism on Rick's face as he looked from Michonne to Maggie.
Look, I'm aware of how he looks to all of you, and I'm more than aware of his lack of survival skills and questionable decisions in the past, but we're not talking about the past out there. We're talking about the future in here. Eugene is very smart. We don't have Reg or Carter anymore. You need someone to design expansions for that wall that will hold, or fix the electrical grid. Help us create a system for sustainable crops, and know which crops are best for that matter. All of that is going to be Eugene. He's going to be an integral part of keeping this place growing and thriving, and because of that, I think he should have a seat at this table, so to speak.
You make a very strong argument.
Yes, you do, and you're right. Eugene is going to be an important part of this. I think Aaron should be considered too. He's been a key part of Deanna's trusted circle for a long time, and he's as committed as any of us to making this place everything it needs to be.
That's a good idea.
So it's decided then. Our proposed committee is the four of us, Abraham, Eugene, and Aaron.
4 men and 3 women.
Oh, I have a feeling the 3 of you won't have a problem making your voices heard.
Rick shot her a wink and she shook her head and chuckled.
It's good to keep it an odd number too. Makes it easier when we need to vote.
All right then. We'll talk to each of them and see how they feel about joining. I've got Aaron. He's heading out on a run with Daryl in a few hours, and I was planning on checking in with them before they go. Talisa, you said you've got a watch shift with Abraham tonight.
Yep, I do.
And I'm guessing it wouldn't be much trouble for you to talk with Eugene about it either.
All three of them suppressed knowing smiles, and Talisa glared around the table.
No, it wouldn't.
So if all goes well, we'll convene again next week with our whole council. All right then. I'm gonna take Judith up and get her put down for a nap. Carol should be here any minute, and then you and I are on patrol, right?
He indicated to Michonne.
Sure are, but I'd be a lot happier about it if I got my strawberry Pop-Tart.
They all headed towards the hallway, and Maggie and Talisa said goodbye to the other two at the door and headed out. Talisa walked with her back towards her home near the front of the compound.
So how's Enid doing?
Hard to say. Like I said in there, we hardly see her. After everything that happened, her saving Glenn and then helping him save me, I really thought maybe we were getting through to her. But now I just don't know.
You are getting through to her. The fact that she came back because Glenn asked her to, the fact that she moved in with you, those are huge steps. It's just going to take some time. I think for the first time she's finding people she can see herself really caring about again. You, Glenn, Carl, even your baby. And while that's an amazing thing, it's also terrifying. When you know firsthand how it feels to lose people you love, it makes the idea of ever loving anyone else seem like too big a risk. Part of you is scared to even try.
We still talking about Enid?
Maggie's gaze shifted to the gate, where Eugene was on duty.
We are, but that doesn't mean it only applies to her. All right, Francie, you got this. Now, we don't need to take out every roamer who comes close. We only take them out if they get to the fence and start making a bunch of noise. You want to tell me why?
'Cause noise brings more.
She looked through the sight on her rifle and took the shot. The silencer muffled the sound as the walker who was bumping against the wall crumpled.
That a girl. You think you're good to stay up here while Talisa and I go do a quick perimeter walk?
Yep, I got it.
Talisa climbed down the ladder from the lookout tower, and Abraham followed behind her. They began their slow walk around the inner fence, stopping periodically to dispatch any walkers pushing at the seams of the panels with their knives.
So a committee, huh? I don't know if I'm a committee sort of guy.
Yeah, but what you are is the only person here with military experience. And we see that as a pretty significant asset.
So what exactly would I have to do on this committee of yours?
Come to a weekly meeting and give your opinion on the things we're working on. Security and such. Possibly vote if we decide to enact any procedures.
Guess that doesn't sound so bad.
They walked over to the guard station at the back of the compound. He climbed up with Talisa beside him and sat down on the edge looking out into the darkness. After a moment, she pulled a small flask out of her pocket. She took a swig and then offered it to Abraham, who raised an eyebrow at her.
Since when do you drink on the job?
Since it's getting really damn cold out here. Besides, it's just hard cider. I doubt it's strong enough to even give you a buzz, but I heated it up before we came out.
Abraham took a swig and made a noise of approval.
Damn, that's good shit.
He took another sip.
So who all is going to be on this committee that I'm apparently vital to?
Me, of course, Rick, Maggie, and Michonne.
The head honchos, naturally.
And then we're looking to add you, Aaron, and Eugene.
Abraham shot her a mischievous smile.
So you wrangled Eugene a spot, huh?
No, I did not. He got it himself by being knowledgeable about pretty much everything we're planning to do, from farming to engineering. You've spent more time with him than anyone. You should be fully aware of how much practical knowledge he has.
Oh, I am. I'm just yanking your chain.
He handed her back the flask, and they sat in silence, looking out into the darkness for a while.
I respect what you're doing with him, you know?
Oh yeah? What's that?
Taking your time, making sure you do it right. It's the way you should do it. If you want it to be real, not let your baggage cloud your judgment.
I hope so. I just don't know how long he's going to sit around waiting for me to get my issues sorted out.
Abraham snorted and shook his head.
Have you met Eugene? He's not going anywhere. As long as you stay interested, that man is going to be stuck to you like white on rice.
Talisa laughed and shook her head. She handed the flask back to Abraham, who took another sip.
You know, seeing you two makes me think about how I did things. how I wish I had.
What do you mean?
I was married before, too. My wife, Ellen, and my kids, Becca and AJ. I lost them all.
God, that sucks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it did. And the thing is, I didn't really take any time, you know? I just found Rosita and jumped right in. I was surviving. But now, I see you and Eugene. What you're trying to do. He doesn't like you because he thinks you're hot, even though you are. For the record, you are way too hot for him.
Talisa grinned.
Well, thanks for that.
But he likes you. 'Cause you get him. Maybe the only damn person left on the planet who does. But you get him. And he can see what comes next with you. That's living.
And you're saying you don't have that with Rosita?
Abraham sighed heavily and ran a hand across his face before shaking his head.
I don't know what the hell I'm saying. But we better finish our perimeter sweep and check in on Francine.
He handed her the flask, and they climbed back down the guard tower. When I Fall is a work of fiction based on AMC's The Walking Dead. Any characters not created by the author are the property of said company. The story will continue in the next chapter.